I think, Katina, there's no sound for that video.
I can't even ask for help. I can't even ask for help. Not from my family, colleagues.
Good evening. I wish to take this opportunity to introduce you to our training that is officially starting today. So I'll just request a few response from a few of you if you can able to get to hear me very well.
Yes.
Yes, Justice, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yes. We can hear you.
Thank you so much. So I hope all of you had a very nice day and a very wonderful time. So I'll just be brief. I'll just introduce myself. I am Justus Mokua Migozi, a student at Zitech University and a Leo president of Leo Club of Zitech University. We have partnered with Barrier Breaker Youth Initiative for this training. And I believe this training will be of very great impact to all of you. We expect a lot, and I believe that our trainer have prepared well for this. I'll just like to let a few people speak before I take on to invite. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, if you have any challenge of getting me, please, you can inbox so that the host can check on his or her side. So I was just saying, I would just like to invite Katile to say something so that I can proceed to the next.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So I am Katile, and I'm so happy that I can see you're starting the session. And honestly, I don't want to take much of your time because it's our day to learn about CV writing, and I'm glad you joined. I'm sure we learn a lot, and let this knowledge not end here. Let us share to our friends, and let us learn and interact. And by the end of the meeting, at least have something to say to the speaker, like our teacher does. After the end of the training, we expect each and everyone to say something that they have learned during the meeting, and we'll be taking an attendance sheet. So kindly make sure you fill the attendance form for your attendance, and let's cooperate and let's follow the Zoom rules. Thank you all for joining. Back to you, Justus.
Thank you so much, Katile. So as Katile has just said, today is about CV writing, and our guest is Walemba Jairus. He's a CEO and a founder of JCVs. He is a HR consultant. He is a CV specialist, and finally a career and a leadership coach. At this moment, I would like to invite our speaker today, Mr. Jairus, to take on. Before I invite him, if you have any question that you wish to ask the speaker, just feel free and post it on the chat. I'll be able to see it, and I will ask at the end of the session after the speaker has just finished. In case if it's an urgent question, I will just interrupt the speaker and ask on your behalf. Thank you so much. So please, let's use the chat box for any question. So back to you, our speaker for today. The platform is yours.
Good evening once more. My name is Walemba J. I normally call myself J because of JCVs, but it's Walemba Jairus. I think my video is not so clear. I think everyone can see me. Am I clear?
We
The
can
video
see
is
you,
not-
but it's a bit dark.
Sorry for that. I think the background, you are used to these dim lights. I'll change from next week. I'll have a brighter light. Sorry for that today. So basically, Jairus is the CEO and founder JCVs, and maybe I should give you a little story about how JCVs came into existence, so that I may encourage someone out there who is who feels low and maybe who is depressed, or someone who feels that he cannot make it in life. JCVs basically came about when I got sacked because of a condition that I have, a medical condition that I have. I think Katile knows about it. And after I was sacked, I decided to basically help job seekers. And by then I had not practiced anything in HR, but I had groups that I was running for posting jobs on daily basis. I had 6 groups by then. It was back 2019. I had 6 groups. And today I have 34 groups so far. And I have another platform on Telegram where I post jobs on daily basis. So JCVs came about because of rejection. After I was sacked, I really wanted to get into HR. So I decided, I tried linking up with my former HR to ask her if she could take me on board as a volunteer. She rejected me. I applied for a position, for an internship position at Wilson Airport with one of the companies. I got rejected again because they asked me that, how come you want to do internship and you've been working for the last 11 years? So I got rejected again. So the rejection really, it was a desperation move for me. So I went into another HR forum, and the speaker of that day, after I told her that I was doing CVs, I was just starting. After I told her that I was doing CVs, she invited me to her place, whereby she gave me a job, did my contract, but never signed the contract for me. So I worked for the first week, making sure that I gave her everything. I gave her everything in terms of the templates for CVs, everything that every resource that I could use to get the CVs done. So after that, she was the second week, she also fired me. So I didn't feel the rejection. What happened is that I felt so bad though, but because she had so much knowledge in HR, I didn't feel the rejection. I decided not to act negatively. I did her a message and told her, thank you so much for the opportunity to work with you. And I will also appreciate, in future, I will appreciate an opportunity. Maybe if I have any queries in HR, to engage you. So she was so positive, and then she was like, oh, this guy seems so positive. And she gave me an opportunity at her place again. She had a mentorship program, which I joined, and without paying even a single cent, even though she was charging 20,000. So after that mentorship, I was so much informed in terms of HR that I started training people who've been in HR for even 20 years, people who've been in HR for 30 years. So that is how I grew from CV writing now to training, to interviews and recruitment. So JCVs, we are based in Mindleo House. Mindleo House is just opposite University Towers. That's where I work from. And so far I've employed 4 people who works with me, and we hope to employ more with time. I've seen this year will be a great year for us, and we want to employ more youth. We want to have more youth coming on board in terms of attachment, in terms of internship, so that we can empower the youth through JCVs. So I'll not take much of your time. I'll go straight to my slides. Kindly, the host, can you allow me to share the screens?
You can be able.
Yeah.
You're able to share the screen, I guess.
From my side, the host disabled participant from sharing the screen. Now I can share now. So far, the job market, I think we all understand the job market is very tough at the moment. We are not able to. The job market is very tough. So many people are out here. We have so many graduates coming out of the universities. After COVID, we also had people who were fired, some were retrenched, some were moved out because they were afraid of what was going to happen in Nairobi. So many people lost jobs. I get so many emails, I get so many texts on daily basis, I get so many calls of people looking for jobs. But the biggest problem for us job seekers is our CVs. Our CV is the main problem we have. And when we can handle our CVs, I think getting an interview is not an issue. If you get an interview, you can't go for 2-3 interviews without at least getting a job or getting an offer. So I always advise people to work on their CVs. CV is the first thing, is the first selling, is the first marketing tool for any job seeker. So I will advise that the information I'm sharing, there's nothing that I'll hide today. I'm going to share all the information in regard to CVs. So be very keen while I'm sharing this information. Feel free to ask any questions. I want to make this conversation as interactive as possible. I'll be free to give you all the information that in relation to the CVs. So the Kenyan job market is highly competitive, and for both the recent graduates and those already in the corporate world, even the entrepreneurs. So we need to leverage on every opportunity to improve on our employability skills. This can be done by partnering with JCVs, a firm that enhances employability, coaching, and mentoring job seekers and those already in the corporate world on successful tips for development, soft and hard skills, CV, cover letter writing, job search, and interview skills. So basically, last year, I think, just as I don't know if you saw me at ZTech, last year I was doing pro bono training. So I think around all universities, I think the only university that we didn't go to was KU, but we went to all other universities trying to educate graduates about CV writing and job search in general. But one thing that I noted is that we never take these things seriously, and it's a big problem because for those of us who are still in school, we never take the CV writing or the job search. We never take this session seriously, and so we have few people attending the sessions that make it that might discourage the speakers some of the time. But for me, I know it's just a season in your life whereby you feel that you don't. It's just a season in your life whereby you feel that maybe you're still getting supported by your parent, and you don't see the need of joining these sessions. So employability, I'll start by defining what employability means. Employability is basically the ability to be more likely to gain employment and be successful in your chosen career. It's a benefit to yourself and the workforce and the community and the economy. So being employable for JCVs, our motto is making you employable. So by making you employable, we mean that by doing your CVs, we make you more. By doing your CVs, we make you more marketable to any employer that you might feel that you want to engage. So the CV being the first marketing tool is what sells you even before the employer sees you.
Please, Mr. Jeras, can I interrupt you a bit?
Yeah.
I think until the screen, not all people are able to see the shared screen. You can look at the settings.
Oh, you can. Your screen can only be seen by the hosts and co-hosts. Sorry.
Yeah.
I've seen that from my side also.
Yeah.
Are they able to see now?
let's give them a minute. We get the feedback.
So
Yeah, it's okay from my side.
you're okay.
I'm okay now. Thanks.
It's okay
Thank you.
now.
So should I go back or I can go ahead?
I think you can just proceed because we are recording the session. We'll share.
So thanks. So the tools for employability, we have the CV, the curriculum vitae. In some countries, they call it the resume, the cover letter, social media, for example, LinkedIn, and then you can networking. So our major will measure so much on the main aspect, which is the CV. A CV is a description of it's a paper that contains the description with the description of your education, qualifications, previous job experiences, and sometimes your personal interests that you send to an employer when you are trying to get a job. So in a CV, the contents of a CV also, a resume is it presents a concise picture of your skills and qualifications for a particular position. So length is shorter. The length of a resume and the CV is different. So contents of a CV, we have the name and contact details. So the name, the address, postal address, if you have any. Contact details, we have the telephone number, which will follow the postal address. Then the email comes last. So nowadays, we've also started including our LinkedIn URL. So whereby you go to your LinkedIn page and have the URL copied just below the email. So the career and the professional summary. This is just a summary of it's a summary of who you are in terms of your career-wise, or it summarizes your career. If you have had different careers, let's say you've been in customer service, you've been in sales, you've been in accounting, and you still want to measure in any of the three careers, you'll have the summary capture all the three careers in one. But if you have been in one career, let's say in accounting, your summary will show your skills and competencies in accounting only. The core competencies and skills or stock skills, this is just these are the technical skills of any given. These are the technical skills of any given profession or career. And for the core competencies or skills, they are very specific depending on your career. The core skills of an accountant are totally different from the core skills of a HR, the core skills of a sales personnel, or the core skills of a customer service personnel. So the core skills will depend on your career. Then the academic qualifications, you have the academic or professional qualifications. The academic qualifications, basically, these are Form 4 and primary school education. But the professional qualifications is any course that you take after your high school. Then the work experience. We start from the most recent work experience, whereby we have the most recent work experience, whereby you have we have the date, the month, year, then the end period. If you're still working there, you can do up to date or to present. But if you've ended the work, you've stopped working in that particular organization from July 2013 to October 2018. So you must ensure that you name the months so that it helps in accumulating the years you've worked in a certain organization. I've seen people write 2018 to 2019. It might be from December 2018 to January 2019, which is barely 1 month. and the employer might be looking for 1 year. So it will be tricky for you to get that opportunity if they're looking for 1 year. So the last part on every CV is the references. The references are always people you've worked with, mostly your supervisors, your immediate supervisor, or people that if you have no any job experience, you can use your if you are fresh from school, you can use your class representative, or you can do a student leader, someone who can give a positive feedback about your personality. I've seen most graduates do talk about certain lecturers who, when you call asking for about them, the lecturer do not even understand who they are. So you can only use your lecturer if you are in good communication with the lecturer, or if you are in frequent communication with the lecturer, so that the lecturer doesn't forget you. Another thing that we always forget on our CVs that I had forgotten to mention, have an official email. Use an official email in your CV. For example, my name is Walemba Jairus. So you can use jwalemba@gmail.com. That is my official email. Don't use names such as nice baby or lovely girl as your official email. Make sure that you use an official email. Have at least letters from your official name. Then you can include, you can add numerals like jwalemba123@gmail.com or jwalemba25@gmail.com. So make sure that you have that in your CV. Then something also that is not in my list is numbering your CV. Always ensure that you number your CV. And by numbering, I mean that when you're numbering, you don't just number page 1 of 1, or page 1 of 2, page 1 of 2, or page 1 of 3. So when you're numbering, always make sure that it's Katile Mtuku CV, page 1 of 1, Katile CV, or page 2 of 2, so that you have, when there are some instances whereby I've seen people name their CV, my CV, or null, or CV1, curriculum vitae 1, without even mentioning their real names, their official names. So when you have such CVs in your downloads on your laptop, or when, sometimes when you're doing recruitment, you might find out that some candidates do not meet all the requirements for a certain position. So you memorize that this candidate had, there was a candidate that I've seen the CV, even though he doesn't meet the 70% required for this position, he was meeting 60%. So you can still recall that I'm checking just as CVs, but you can't see just as CV, because just as has named this CV as my CV, and so many people have named the same their CV same to just as. So when you're downloading it, the computer will save it as my CV1, my CV2. So you'll not be able to get the CV in time. So it gives the recruiters a hard time. So they might now not consider you and look into other CVs that they have received. So nowadays, when a job is posted, even if it's a HR manager, like last week I was doing shortlisting for another company, another NGO. A fresh graduate, someone who graduated, the job was asking for someone with about 5 years experience, 5 to 7 years experience in HR and in management position. A candidate who had graduated in 2019, a finance graduate, for your information, it was a finance graduate, applied for that position. So those are the people that, for me, I believe that even though some people say that miracles happen, I don't think there can be a miracle that can happen in that instance, whereby someone who's done finance is applying for a HR position and he has no experience. The position wants someone in 5 to 7 years experience, thinking that he can be considered. I don't think that any miracle can happen in that instant. So such people give us, as recruiters, they give us a hard time. So we don't get time to, we have a hard time in terms of, we have a hard times in terms of shortlisting, and it really makes us, it really makes our hard so hard, because I had over 300 CVs to look into, which took my 2 days. So it gives a hard time, and you find out that someone who doesn't qualify fully is applying for a position that he knows that he doesn't qualify. So I'll show you an example of a CV here. I don't know why my file isn't happening. This file is supposed to be there. Yes. Just a minute.
Hey Tim, maybe as Jay sorts his screen, you can check on the chat. There is an attendance sheet you can mark. the attendance form.
Yes. I don't know, I can't have it here. Can you see it? Just as, are you able to see it?
Yes, it's loading.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes, it's okay. You can continue.
Which one are you seeing?
You have changed it now. It is blank. There is A, B, C.
And that's what I want to use. Now, I want to give you an example. This is an example of a CV now. I named it ABC because now this is a CV for a student. I did this one for a student who was at JQuat. And he was pursuing from the professional summary. From the professional summary, I can see someone asking me for the link, and you know we are not streaming it. So from the professional summary, from the name, we have the name, telephone number, the email address. I think you can see the email address coming from, is originating from the name. Are you okay up to that point? Then we have the professional summary. This guy was a student leader. He was a life skills coordinator, and he was also a chairman of this Society of Chemists. So from the summary, is a well-presented, intelligent, and highly focused individual who is keen on a career in the manufacturing industry, possesses a track record of delivering outstanding service, leading teams, as well as recognizing and developing opportunities. Now, I've captured.
Please, I think your screen is not that stable. It's like it's shifting back and to and from.
The screen is stable now.
No, not yet, because it shows the file, it goes back.
Anyone with the same problem?
I have the same problem.
I think your queue is hanging.
I also have the same problem.
Just as how is your screen?
The same, but what you can do,
yeah,
you can also can you share the document so that I think either one of us of the co-host or host can share, so that you just discuss from other side, because I think your laptop is not that I think it has some problem.
From my side, it's very okay. I'm not.
But on this side,
yeah,
it shows a bit of CV and goes back to the file folder, and then like that.
Sorry for that. Are you able to see now?
Yes, not yet. Still the same.
Still the same.
Yes. Can you
Can I send it
share it via my WhatsApp so that I can share the screen? We see how it will behave.
Can I send it in the chat or on your WhatsApp?
Yes, WhatsApp is very okay.
So, a minute. You received it? Just as.
Yes, I have received.
Yeah. So you can share it as well. Have you shared it?
Minute I share.
Yeah, so. Just let me know when you're done. Can everyone see it now?
Yes.
Everyone is able to see it, eh?
Yeah, yeah. It's clear.
So now, we start with the professional summary. From the professional summary, this is someone who is seeking an internship position or an entry-level position. So now he has to talk about his skills in terms of his skills, his leadership skills. He has to talk about his passion, maybe in working in the manufacturing industry. So a well-presented, intelligent, and highly focused individual who is keen on a career in the manufacturing industry possesses a track record of delivering outstanding service, leading teams, as well as recognizing and developing opportunities. Eagerly seeking an attachment or an end-level position in a pro-learning environment to gain much needed practical experience. An ambitious, analytical, fast learner, team player with good interpersonal skills and a desire to and drive to prosper in all assigned tasks. So from this summary, you can tell that this person is very passionate about working in a manufacturing industry because he's done analytical chem. Some of the roles that he can handle include maybe being a QC or being a chemical engineer, basically things to do with QC and analytical things, a chemical analyst in an industry. So this is shown, this passion is shown in the summary, and some of the skills, some of the technical skills are shown in the summary because he's talking about his ability to lead teams. So the summary now, his summary gives us an overview of who he is even before he meets the employer. So this is now the first selling point of any CV. Then the second part of the CV is the areas of expertise. At this moment, I'll skip this. I'll skip the areas of expertise. I'll come back later. I'll let you know how we get the areas of expertise from any CV. Then the academic, sorry, I didn't do the professional. It's academic and professional qualifications. So it's a Bachelor of Science in Analytical Chemistry, JQuat. It's an ongoing, is yet to graduate this year. Then is schooled at KCSE, is schooled at XYZ 2015, finished in 2015, completed in 2015. So now, most of us, most of the fresh graduates will ask that I've had no experience in any, I have no experience in any formal role or internship. But the answer is always that if you have had played any role in a school, if you have played any role in a church, if you had played any role maybe in organizing the community, organizing for visiting children homes, organizing for community development programs, or been appointed to any role, even if you are a prefect in high school, that is part of your work experience. Being a prefect in high school, being a prefect in primary school, being a games dining hall prefect, that is all working experience. So I know at least almost all of us have had the experience to lead others. So we've had the opportunity to be, we've had the opportunity to have at least one work experience in our lifetime before we reach campus or before we go to college. So always make sure that you capture that in your CV if you don't have any formal employment or formal engagement like attachment or internship. So this guy was a life skills coordinator at JQuat. So in a CV, you have what you call the overall purpose. The overall purpose is just a summary of the responsibilities that you handle. Like for me, my overall purpose is for JCVs. My overall purpose is making sure that assessing the client needs in terms of before I do the CV. You assess the client needs, assessing the client needs, and delivering their work in time. So that's my overall purpose. So you can come on the responsibilities. What comes in the responsibilities, just a section of what is in the overall purpose. So like this one, there's a needs assessment. Needs assessment, it conducts students' needs assessment through surveys and interviews and identifies skills and knowledge gaps that needs to be addressed. So this responsibility will give us a skill. Every technical skill in any CV, whether it's a HR manager, whether it's a HR assistant, whether it's a accounts manager, or whether it's a salesperson, whether it's a customer service person, every responsibility has its own technical skill. So the technical skills will always originate from the responsibilities that we have on the JD. So conducting student needs assessment, that it gives a skill called the needs assessment. Attend seminars and meetings to learn new training methods and techniques, and use the knowledge to prepare and coordinate future training sessions. So training methodologies is a skill, a technical skill that we get from that. Assesses the impact of each implemented training program. Program impact assessment. That is the technical skill that you get from there. Collects information regarding training requirements and collaborates with the management to identify areas for improvement. Performance oversight. Then determines problem and deficiencies in each program and ensures they are covered. So he handles complaints related to trainings. Creates and maintains records for training tasks performed each day. So from my experience in writing CVs, I'll always tell a technical skill for any position, whether it's a CEO, whether it's a manager, whether it's an intern, whether it's a housekeeping job, whether it's a nanny, I'll always tell the technical skill that comes from that position. So you always, when you're doing your CV, when you're working on your CV, always make sure that you capture those technical skills from your JD. For example, if you're an accountant, you're talking about preparing vouchers, preparing vouchers for payment, that's accounts payable. When you're talking about things to do with managing the petty cash and ensuring that it's replenished on time, that's petty cash management. When you're talking about assisting in preparing financial reports, that is financial reporting. When you talk about availing accounting documents or accounting books for auditing, that's auditing as a technical skill. So for those in HR, when you're talking about helping in screening CVs, that's recruitment and selection. When you talk about things to do with assisting in appraising staff appraisal, that is performance management. When you talk about assisting in organizing staff trainings, that is training and development. When you are in procurement, you talk about liaising with the vendors or suppliers or sending LPO to suppliers, that is vendor relations. When you talk about things to do with ensuring that goods are well stored in the stores, that is warehouse management. So every career, every profession has specific technical skills, and the technical skills we get them from the JD. Always remember that. Then we have this: collaborates with trainers to prepare reports and inform the management of information such as training deficiencies. So that is reporting. So reporting will always be reporting, and record keeping is almost in every other career, because in accounts we'll have record keeping, in HR we'll have record keeping, but now in HR they call it HR records. In procurement we'll have record keeping. In customer service we'll have CRM, so whereby the records are kept in a system called CRM. In analytics we'll have still the same thing. So reporting is now reporting will always depend also on the career, but you always have reporting in each and every career. So even in project management you have the same thing. So every career has a specific technical skills, but there are some that you will find that they look alike, like reporting and maybe things to do with the record keeping. But most careers have different technical skills. So the second part, this is the first part of any CV. When I'm doing CVs, personally, when I'm doing CVs, and from the research that I've done with doing CVs, the first role will always give you the skills. You'll use the first role to get the skills and have them highlighted as I've done here. The second role is a bit different now. The second role, you'll not highlight the skills, but if there's any skill that you've not captured from the first role, you can now capture it here, then have it move to the areas of expertise. You can have it captured, then move to areas of expertise section. So plan and run meetings for the governing policies and ensured impartiality, objectivity to the meetings and decision making. So that is after report. That is team leadership. You have it captured here. Facilitated change and addressed conflicts within the society and liaised with other committee members to achieve objectives. That's complaint handling. Advocated and represented the society at external meetings. That is leadership, or it can also be stakeholder. Reviewed the committee's performance and identified management process and renewal of the committee through recruitment of new members. Member recruitment is a skill also. Last, with the school management as appropriate to keep the overview of society affairs, kept aware of the current issues that might affect the society. So most of the skills that we capture here is about team leadership. So another thing that we need to understand about CVs is that as CVs for fresh graduates, for someone who just cleared completely college, and maybe for him he was a student leader at school, and at least he held 2 positions, even though there are other positions that he held that are not so impactful as the first 2. We just now have the other positions mentioned. Hatutaki CV yake ikuwe ndefu sana, because now itashtua pia recruiters kuangalia mtu amemaliza shule with just zero experience in terms of formal engagement, akona CV ndefu, they'll not take it lightly. So other positions now you can just mention them. Then there are certifications. These are certificates that you got from school, membership certificate, certificate of participation. You just mention them, because with time, as you leave school and you engage into other, into formal employment, this certification will start being obsolete. So now you'll have to delete them with time. Polepole tu unaipata kama chairperson, yani utakuja unazitoa, because they'll be relevant. You have this certification here kwa ECV sababu we want them to show that you want them to show your skills, maybe in leadership, maybe in organizing, ability to plan and organize events, ability to lead a team, ability maybe to develop reports. So those are the reason we have these certifications on this CV. But after school now, after you get your internship or after you get your attachment, now you've gained something different. You can now start having the key certificates on your CV. We have these ones become obsolete. So the last part of this CV is the name, is the references part. We advise that at least you have 3 referees on your CV, because this guy was a student at JQuat. His first referee was a lecturer. The lecturer who was in charge of the Society of Chemistry. The lecturer was in charge of the science department. So he was the first lecturer, because I'm sure when you call him, ask him about ABC, he will give you information, because it's something that they used to interact so closely, maybe in organizing sessions, trainings, and organizing other visits. So he was someone who could recommend him in terms of his ability to plan, ability to lead, but he also had good knowledge of him as a person, as an individual. So you can have him, the head of department, science department, as his first referee. We can have the second one as maybe the student leader. Then we can have his mentor, if he has any mentor here. Can have the third referee as a mentor. So always, another thing you need to understand, to know, is that you always need to have a mentor, especially in line with your career. And mentors are people that are willing to help you even without, most mentors will not charge you anything for being your mentors. So make sure you get getting a mentor should be free, and make sure you do that to help you just grow in your career. There are people that will help you make decisions that are relevant to you in terms of your career. If you want to grow in your career, if you want to take any other course, these mentors are the people that will guide you do that. Do we have any questions on CV?
I think in the chat box I have not seen any question, but I think it's the chance. We'll just give the chance to people to view their question so that you can respond to them. So for those who we have any question, can send via the chat or can mute and ask. So before they ask, I think have you finished so that I just recommend so that we go to question part.
And for CV, the CV part I've finished. And maybe one thing I need to, for CV part, hebu teremsha kidogo yako. Now I think you've seen the page number.
Yes,
I wanted
yes.
just to make sure that it has a page number. You've seen the page number.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've seen how I've named it.
Yes, ABCCV.
ABCCV. So the ABC is the person now. This is his CV.
So I think I can now comment on something so that you can go to question session.
Yeah.
So thank you so much first for sharing. I think the training has been very well, and I've been able to learn new things. Other than I've been able to go through a number of CV writing, and I think each and every day I go such training, I get new skills, I get to learn different things. Thank you so much for sharing. So I'll just in the chat box I've seen questions, so I'll just give the opportunity to the members to ask, and then I will finish if there's anything burning or in addition from my side. So I think we can go now to the question. The first question here, is it a must for one to state their experience? I think you can respond to that, Mr. Jairus.
Now, depending on your level of career, when I'm doing senior management CVs or for directors and CEOs, when I'm doing senior persons CVs, we don't include much of the experience. What we do, we just work with their accomplishments. But for people in the mid-level, people fresh graduates, you must mention your experience. This experience is how this experience is what gives you the opportunity. This is what gives the employer the opportunity now to know your ability to handle the tasks that are ahead of you. So mentioning experience in your CV is a must.
Thank you. I think you are able to get, is a must to mention your experience. I think on top of that, just what you have just said, under the experience, I think there's a point where you touch that. I think these are most frequent question asked by the new graduate who are coming from the university and they are looking for job in terms of writing CVs. So I think many new graduates always ask that. I'm being asked for experience of 5 years or what. So I tend to believe what you had shared before, that you need to name, like the way you say that if you are a leader somewhere, and I think you need to showcase if I was a leader, for example, maybe I was an head boy. Now show us how you use that, your leadership skill during that time. I think that's more important. So at any point, I think everyone must have an experience at any level. In addition to experience, I think it's better now to join, if you're in campus, you can join clubs so that you participate in some events, and those are what that will majorly add to your experience. If I'm not wrong, Jairus, you can correct me on the same.
That is right. One thing I
Okay.
maybe what I can add is that you know, from high school, from primary school, when you get to campus, you take different courses. So what you do, what we do when you are doing a CV, like what this the CV I just shared. I've captured the skills of this guy, the leadership skills in the summary. I think you've seen that. You can see that from the summary. Sure. Can you get that from the summary, Justice? Are you able to see the leadership skills of this guy from the summary? Hello. Just pull down so that we can read the summary. Uko juu kabisa, the first part. Now, if you read this CV, are you able to capture any leadership skills from the summary? This summary. The second sentence.
Yes, I think is there. Possess a track record of delivering outstanding service, leading team as well as recognizing and developing opportunities.
Now, this is the other part of that of this guy. Now, the leadership skills of this guy are being shown in this summary. Then it goes ahead to talk about. Now he's talking. The third sentence is talking about his career now. Eagerly seeking an attachment or internship opportunity in a pro-learning environment to gain much needed a practical experience. But also the first sentence was talking about his passion to work in a manufacturing industry. So I think for you, if you are an employer and you find such a CV, I don't know why you will not consider. I don't know why you will not consider this guy for an opportunity in your company. Yeah. Will you consider him for an opportunity? Because I did this CV and fortunately sent it to a client in the healthcare manufacturing industry and he got the opportunity. I think for anyone from JQuat who can tell you that there was an MOU signed between JQuat and Cosmos Pharmaceuticals through this guy. So your CV, the summary, as much as it shows your leadership skills, as much as it shows your planning and organization skills, it should also show your passion. It should also talk about your career and passion of what direction do you want to take in your career, or what are you looking for in your career. I've seen a question someone asked about. Someone has talked about.
I think the another question was, is there any different format apart from this?
There are several formats for CVs, but this is the basic format and this is the most marketable format because I think you've heard things about something about ATS. Have you heard about ATS? Anyone who's heard about ATS? Anyone in HR? Justus, have you heard about ATS?
No.
Now, there's something called, those people maybe in HR will tell you there's something called the applicant tracking system. Now, the applicant tracking system is a system that helps recruiters. It helps recruiters save CVs. For those companies that are developed, I think you've seen companies like EABL, you've seen companies like BAT, you've seen companies like Nairobi Bottlers, companies like Safaricom, companies like Deloitte. They have something we call an online application. You've seen that? Just as have you tried applying for such?
I think I've just heard about it, but I've not.
Now I'm talking about, have you seen companies like EABL? They have when they do their advertisements, they talk about online applications. You've seen that?
Yes, yes.
Now the online applications, what they basically mean is that your CV will not reach a human being, not unless it passes, it scores a certain percentage based on the JD. Let me just explain it now mwelewe. Kuna kitu inaitwa ATS. ATS is the applicant tracking system. So the applicant tracking system, it has the JD kwa hiyo machine, iko na hiyo JD yako. So the JD, I think I'll be showing you another, when we'll be talking about cover letters, I'll be showing you a JD and a cover letter, then you will be comparing. So the JD nini, CV yako itafika kwa hiyo machine. So the machine has the JD. So when the CV gets, your CV gets into the JD, there are specific keywords that the machine will be looking for. So that's why we have the areas of expertise. These are the keywords that the machines look for. So ndio maana we talk about, when we talk about customizing CVs, I think you've heard people talk about customizing CVs for every application. So when you talk about customizing CVs, is that you capture the keywords from the job description and have them on your CV, so that when the applicant tracking system will be screening your CV, it captures all the keywords that are necessary for that position. Am I clear up to that point?
Yes, yes, yes.
So this is a system yenye inatumika kusieve CVs. So for developed companies, they don't have time the HR going through the CVs. So when it happens in that direction, when your CV is sieved by the machine, inakuwa kwamba CV yako kama meet a certain score, it will not reach as a human being. Ndio unapata, we will find people saying that I've been making thousands of applications, sijai hata itwa, CV yako hata haijafikia mtu. Unaona? So inafaa, when you talk about customizing your CV, you talk about customizing CVs, it means that you are fika pass mark ya ile JD. And I'll show you there are sites online za kumatch CV yako na JD, so that if it scores above 80%, then you are good to go. Ukituma your CV, expect a positive feedback. So when we be talking about job applications and cover letters and job applications, I think I'll be sharing some of the links that you can use to match your CV and the JD, match your cover letter and the JD, so that when you're doing applications, mimi nikiandikia mtu CV ama cover letter and I want this person to get this job, at least get an interview, they do get, because I know what it entails. You match the CV, you match the CV and the cover letter, then unaituma. If it's an online applications, an online application, it has scored a certain mark. So if it scores that mark, it means kwamba itafikia. If it scores that mark, now those CVs are sent to zinatumwa kwa binadamu. Tunafikia now the HR now, ule mwenye sasa wataanza kupeana kucall watu for interviews. The next question.
The next question, I think there's this question with regards to work experience in CV. When one has done multiple experience, how are we able to highlight it much clearly rather than in the CV? That question is from Milan. I can just repeat. With regards to work experience in CV, when one has done multiple experience, how are we able to highlight it much clearly rather than in the CV?
Now, I've talked about accomplishments for senior personnel. So the same applies for if you have, let's say, if you have, I prefer that we in any CV we do at most three job experiences. You've worked as an accounts assistant in company A. You've worked as an accountant in company B. You've worked as a senior accountant in company C. And then you've also worked maybe as an intern or a finance manager in company D. So I'll prefer we do company D, C, and B. Then you can just mention on other positions held for company C, company B and A, company A, then maybe in the internship. So when you've had any, because you just mentioned company A, you've not put the whole experience of company A, and you had a major accomplishment at company A, you can have now a section just before the areas of expertise for CV. We can have a section here, major accomplishments. So you have that accomplishment. While at company A, I achieved this and this, or I brought up a system that ensured that there was reduction, an automated system that ensured that messages were sent to clients in time and such things. So when you work for 5 companies, we'll only need 3 companies in your CV, because most of the time, the first company, the most current company or the most recent company is what makes you get an interview. So always make sure that you measure so much on the first company, unless wewe ni mtu umefanya accounts, unatafuta umekuwa kama mtu wa sales, now you are looking for a job in an accounting position, an accounting organization, you're looking for an accounting position. You can now measure on your role in accounting, but now have it kwa accomplishments. Talk about measure on your accomplishments in accounts rather than talking about your accomplishment in sales. And I've always advised people that ukimaliza miaka 3 nje ya career yako, just forget about it, unless you want to start afresh as an intern or as a volunteer. Just forget about it. You umefanya accounts, you've been working in customer service for 3 years, and you expect to go back in accounts. That will be so tricky. So I know people, we always advise people that just start from anywhere. Starting from anywhere doesn't mean that you stay out of your line for long. Work for 6 months, usipitishe mwaka moja, get back in your career, because you kumaliza miaka 3, you are lost, and getting back is not an easy thing. The next question, I think I've responded well to Milan.
Thank you. Another question is, what is the most recommended when it comes to CV writing? Using so it was meaning using a template or just a draft one from scratch?
Draft from scratch.
Thank you.
Maybe something I can add on that is that 90% from my experience, 90% of those people wale walimaliza high school wakaenda kufanya computer packages. 90% of them remember nothing, so they cannot even do a CV. So that is where the problem starts. I've done CVs, natumia mtu CV word format, they can't even they can't even edit the CV. Someone calls you even at night just to help them edit the CV na kona word format. So 90% of the people when you wamefanya computer packages, they don't remember anything. So I will advise that we do practice for computer. There's no shortcut. Just do practice and make sure that you can do your CV from scratch bila kutumia template yote. And most of the templates online are being sold. So just do it from scratch. For me, I do CVs from scratch. I just draw my lines and everything from scratch.
Thank you. Another question is, could you comment on us or photo in the CV? That's the first question. The next question, could you comment on us for photo in the CV?
Now, depending on your career, if you are in the, let's say if you are in the tourism industry, if you are in the hospitality industry, you can use your photo. But if you are an accountant, we don't need your photo. If you are an HR, we don't need your photo. So depending on your career, if you are in fashion and design or things to do with acting, we will need your photo. But if you are in senior professions like accounting, HR, customer service, some companies will ask for it, but you don't, normally we don't need those photos in the CV. And for those going maybe in the Middle East, they need your photo. So we always put photos in those CVs. Ukienda Qatar, ukienda Dubai, they'll need your photo, the passport photo and the full photo on the side. Next question.
So another question is, are there recommended templates for CV writing or just the structure?
There are no recommended templates for CV writing. What is recommended that I had not mentioned is there are those we have recommended how do you call them? Fonts. We have recommended fonts, and then hizo needs naitwaje? Tuko na fonts. We have fonts, and then the sizes. So fonts, for fonts that are recommended, we have Garamond. Garamond is recommended with the ATS. We have Calabri. Then we have Times Romans. Those are recommended even for the ATS machines. And then sizes, most size 12.
Thank you. Another question: should your referees spread out, or you can pick like 2 from the same institution?
Now, depending on the level of your experience on the CV, how many companies have you worked for? If you've worked for one company, you can use your immediate supervisor, maybe and the HR. If he or she is well known to you, then you can have someone else as a mentor. But you can't have all the 3 from the same organization. You can have 2. If you've worked for same organization, then 1 from outside. But most often we advise that you have from different organizations. But if there are people, there should be people, at least there should be people who have supervised you, who have been your immediate supervisors.
Thank you. Another question. A minute. So
this one,
yes, go. You can go on.
Should company leaders be where you work be automatically become your referee? Is that the next question?
No. The next question is, when I do an online course after school, where can I place it in the CV?
There are online courses that are relevant to your career. I've seen there's a site called Allison. With Allison, you are doing you can do customer service, you can do HR online. So when you do such courses like with Allison, you can have them in your professional courses, Paleju. But when you do courses like digital marketing skills with Google, just before the referees, you can have them, unaweza kuwa na title pale unasema notable trainings. Notable training, then you can have the Google training, training. There's one for financial sales training by Generation Kenya. You know that, I think you know that. So depending on course gani, kama Allison, they can give you a diploma in HR, they can give you a certificate in HR, or they can give you a certificate in customer service. So with Allison, if it's a course that you are doing in line with your career, it's a professional course now. So you have it pale Juka professional courses. But if you're doing a course such as Google training, Google Digital Skills by Google, which is also free. Then you can have it pale chini kwa notable trainings.
Thank you so much for sharing. Another question is, how long should a CV for someone with 4 to 5 years be in terms of pages?
A CV, even for someone with 40 years experience, should be 3 pages maximum.
The minimum. What about the minimum?
Minimum, you can have 2 pages. Now, there are companies that will ask you for one page CV. For 1 page CV, they'll want to if you do the responsibilities, it will not fit in that 1 page. So you can have 2 or 3 accomplishments that you've done in 2 organizations. Then you can have the key skills for that position. Then for 1 page CV, you can have omit your referees and then maybe talk about referees available on request, because it will be so short. There are companies that will ask you for 1 page CV, but normally for someone with for a fresh graduate, 2 pages is okay if you've done internship, or two pages. So the second page itakuwa pia referees, but the first page should even fit. And but sababu ya referees, we've moved them up to the second page.
Thank you. I think there's this question you had already reacted. I think some of them maybe they were not able to get. I think you can take 1 minute and react on it. It's about use of photo in CV.
Use of photos depends with your career. Ukiwa kwa media, sawa. Ukiwa kwa fashion and design, sawa. Ukiwa kwa hotel industries, that is okay. If you are doing a CV kwenda Middle East, Qatar, Dubai, that is okay. But for CVs kama as accountant, local accountants in Kenya, HR, we don't need your photos. So your career, your line of profession will determine. The same way, other line of professions like mtu wa media, someone who is doing photography, you can in their CVs they can include their hobbies. But for accountants, we don't need your hobbies.
Thank you. I think the last or I think these are almost the last question. Please elaborate on how being in a career outside what you did in school for more than 3 years affecting someone's path.
Now, assuming you did accounting and you've been in sales for 3 years, you want to go back in accounting. Will someone employ you as a senior accountant, or will someone employ you as an accountant, or will you have to start as an accounts assistant or accounts clerk? If you are in a different career for 3 years, you've been in sales for 3 years, I'm sure you will be earning more than 60,000, or let's say 100,000. Will you accept to take 30,000 to start a career in accounting? Will you accept that?
No.
So now that's why I talk about if you do 3 years in a different career, that means that you are growing in that career, and your skills in these other careers napotea. If you've done accounting, going back to accounting after 3 years will mean that you start afresh. Now, who will be there to teach you the skills now in accounting again? So you'll start afresh. By starting afresh, that means that you'll have to take low pay just to accommodate yourself in your career. That is when I started, I mentioned something about my career path. I had worked for 11 years. I had worked for 11 years without practicing HR. And I even wanted just to do internship, just to volunteer. And no one could give me a chance to an opportunity to volunteer. basically because they thought that I needed more money because I had been working and earning. They thought that I could not manage. I could not manage without earning. So not many people give you an opportunity to get into a different career, get into the career of you studied in for after you've left a different career, earning a higher amount, then coming for a lower amount or coming to volunteer. Not many people will allow you to do that. In health professions, can you add your hobbies? In health professions and maybe community development, you can add your hobbies. If you are doing something related to social work and community development, you can add your hobbies. Maybe about being passionate about GBV, things to do with advocacy, you can add them in your hobbies. For health professions, I think that's still okay. If there's anything that talks about what maybe you're working on something that supporting people with a specific conditions, that can be okay if you include in your hobbies.
I think there's no any question because I think that is the last. So I just feel good if I ask this question. What do employees look? What do employees look in a CV?
Employers.
Yeah.
Now, what employers look for in a CV? We look for your skills. I know you've seen most of the adverts. They talk about specific specific experience. They want 5 years experience or 3 years experience. You've seen that.
Yes.
Now, there's a part kwa CV, kuna kuanga na job description, then there are the requirements. So like for an accountant, they will talk about you've done a BCom finance or BCom accounting plus CPA. So your CV will give them that information. So they are looking for your skills, and at the same time, they are looking for your professional qualifications. Just before they invite you for an interview, you must have met the minimum qualifications. So what you look for in your CV is the minimum qualifications, which will include the experience, the academic qualifications, and then we can also capture certain skills from your JD. I've seen people who just write that accountant ABC Limited, the next assistant accountant XYZ Limited. They don't include anything. They just mention their roles. It's sad for them that they rarely get a call from any employer, because it's good to mention the responsibilities, because some of the responsibilities will give us an overview of some of the skills that you have. Then we can match them to our organization. Any other question?
I think there's another question that has just come. Kindly, in the beginning, I had some.
No, that's not
that's the resend form. That's fine.
That's not mine.
Dominic, can you resend the Google? Is it a Google form for the class attendance?
All right.
I think it seemed to be no any other question, but in case, I just want to give at least 2 or 3 people who may be having a burning question or anything you want to add or you want to comment. I think the platform is yours. If you have something you want to share, just unmute and share with us. I think Mr. Jairus, you can unmute Faith want to speak.
So I'm the host, Faith.
Oh, hi. I
Hi.
have a question on job description, what you were talking about right now. Like, how will I write my responsibilities? Like you said, you're not supposed to write at I was working at NCB as the manager, like that. So what am I supposed to write? Like, am I supposed to say, I used to do the accounting, or what am I supposed to write exactly?
I have not gotten your question. Come again. Faith, come again.
Oh, sorry. I'm asking.
Yeah.
What you were saying right now, you were saying that we are not supposed, your party, when you're writing that you worked at NCBA as the manager, you act as at KCB as the whatever, like supposed to write
Network Yako. Justus, can you hear?
To write that way.
No.
Hello, Faith, we have lost you.
Hello, sijui kama question yangu imeeleweka ama.
Not at all.
Network Yako, we've not gotten you.
But she can just repeat the thing now, it's okay.
Faith, come again.
Onda pikipiki. Saka.
I think I don't know if Faith is able to speak now, but in case as you wait for him to come back, anyone with a question or something to add, you can just unmute and go on.
Hello. I requested for. Okay, thank you.
Faith is back. Faith is back. I think we can just give him chance now to ask a question. Faith, you can go on. Dominic Kurui, it seems you have a question, just ask.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're able to.
Yes, hello.
Yes.
There is this question, like in an healthcare profession, like in school, in campus, we do a series of clinical experience, like around 3 to 4 of them, but they are part of the coursework in school. Can that be part of the experience when you are writing a CV? Like in nursing, we have maybe clinical rotation, then after school, there is internship. Can that be part of the experience?
It is part of the experience.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that is part of the experience.
You can go on.
Mercy, you can ask your question. Mercy Koech, do you have any question? Because I see your mic, you have unmuted, you have mute. So if you have any question, you can ask.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, I can ask the question on behalf of Faith since I got her question.
Yes.
Oh, she was asking that some few minutes ago you were just talking about writing your responsibilities in the maybe the previous work that you are doing. For example, a manager at XYZ company. So she was asking what responsibilities, like what are we supposed to quote there? Hello?
I'm still not getting, because what I said is that if you've done, I think we were talking about working for 3 or more companies. Is that what you mean?
Oh, I think she was meaning that the kind of responsibilities that she's supposed to write.
Yeah.
For example, maybe I was working as a community development officer at XYZ company. So I can mention, like, I was doing mobilization, I was doing trainings I was doing advocacy. Like, those are the things I think she was meaning. Ama she wanted to know more about.
No. What about responsibilities? In any role, what I said is that for the first 3 roles, in this for mid-level and lower positions, yeah, have the roles, write the responsibilities. Then for the first the current role, have it subletted with the skills, technical skills. Yeah, but the other roles you can just mention. And when you're mentioning the skills on the other roles, make sure it's in the past tense. When you're mentioning skills in the current role, make sure it's in the present continuous tense. I think you can see on the CV that I just shared, the CV that I shared. The life coordinator skills is in the current continuous. The other skill, the other role, the chairman is in the past tense. You can see that. So
Yeah,
make sure
sure.
you mention the roles as they appear on your JD. Now, I talked about some skills might be missing in the first role. Some of the technical skills might be missing in the first role. So capture them. After you capture the skills from the first role, the next role, make sure you capture the second. You make sure that you capture any missing skills from the first role in the second role. Any skill missing in the first role, capture it in the skills, technical skills part. Am I okay? Am I clear, Sharon?
Yes, you're clear. Okay, thank you.
I think you are almost ending. So I tend to believe that there's no more question, but if there's any burning question, let me see. I'm not seeing any. Oh, there's Masiko H. You can share your question. If anybody has a question, can raise his or her hand so that I am able to check, so that no anybody is left out. The SP, you can ask.
Okay, thank you very much, Justice, for the opportunity. Okay, mine is just to comment on JV. It has been a very good session. I've learned a lot. I'm looking forward to applying what I've learned in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Paul, for that comment.
I can see Sharon's hand.
Sharon, you can mute and ask the question.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to ask, there's these trainings and webinars or workshops that one has attended. Where are we supposed to mention them in our CVs?
Just before the referees, that's where you can write trainings and workshops attended, then you can mention them, starting with the most recent.
Okay, thank you. And what did I want to say? Like, are we supposed to write in details what
No.
we've learned, or?
No, basically you can talk about, you can just talk about Jenga career workshop training. In brackets, you can do CV writing, CV cover letter writing, and interview skills training. Then you can talk about, then you can highlight the facilitator, like BBYI.
Okay,
So that you don't
thank
make it too long. Just make it shorter and precise.
And can you mention your roles? Maybe you are not a participant, but you are facilitator in those workshops, or maybe?
Now that is in a different, that will be in a different. When you are mentioning other positions held, you can talk about facilitator at.
Okay, thank you.
So I think there is no any burning question at the moment. So I'll just wish to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Jairus for sharing with us about the CV. And according to our program, the CV was to take, I think, 3 sessions. So I'll just request Katile to just come in and say something before we come to the end.
Okay, hello. Thank you, Justus, for that wonderful moderation. I am Katile Mutiku, and I'm organizer of the session, and I'm so happy with the attendance. I'm so glad, and I can see with the questions, you have really learned a lot, and we'll continue learning a lot as we go on. Today was just an introduction to CV writing. We learn what is a CV, what is our CV is written, where should we place our skills, and the speaker also mentioned about how choosing a sensible email address, how you write the personal details in the CV, which parts do the employees use. I also remember the speaker mentioning about the ATS system. How do you target your CV to the job roles? Actually, for me, I've learned a lot. I don't know for the others. I've really learned a lot.
Yes, we have.
Thank
yes,
you.
of course, definitely a lot.
Thank you. Maybe as an appreciation to the speaker, you can just use a reaction, maybe a thumbs up. Thank you so much, everyone. And I really appreciate our speaker, Olemba Jairus, for that wonderful introduction. And I'm so glad, and I'm sure our audacity that we had, at least to Mekuno Margin, we feel like we have learned something that will help us and will go and help others. I really appreciate the speaker, and I appreciate everyone for joining. Before I finish speaking, kindly make sure you have sent the attendance form. And so for the feedback to the speaker, so that maybe he may know that you got something, we'll share a feedback form in the group. So kindly make sure you fill the feedback form so that now the speaker will know where to start next session. Thank you so much for attending, and may God bless you so much.
Thank you so much, Katile. So I think there's a number of people who are asking. So one of it was if you can share just a minute. Will you please share the format through the format? So, and I think the notes that you have been able to go through. I think Mr. Jairas, if it's possible, you can share so that we forward or we channel via the email to the people who attended. So I think that is clear. Is it able?
Yeah,
that,
sharing the
yeah, the presentation and the format.
I'll share the presentation at the end of the whole session.
Okay.
Because I have it as one document. So after the 4 sessions, I'll share.
Thank you so much. There's something Dominic wanted to say.
Hello, Justus. I think just to clarify on the issue of notes, etc., there is a Google Classroom we've created. All the resources will be shared there. So it may not be possible to share with everyone to their respective emails. I think that's what, let me just share the link again in the chat. If you haven't joined, kindly join. Thank you. Back to you, Justus.
Thank you so much. So for those who have not able to join the Google, is it Google Classroom, Dominic?
Yes, Google Classroom.
Yes, you can just join so that you're able to get all the resources there. So I was preparing for a game, but it seemed time is not on our side. Next time we'll have a game to play. So I just wish to take this time for those who have not able to mark their attendance, just mark. For those who have not able to join the WhatsApp group, I think Dominic can share for the WhatsApp, everything. WhatsApp, the Google Classroom, I have seen already the attendance so that in the next 5 minutes, we clear with it and people can live at their own will. So thank you so much for joining all people, starting from our trainer, Mr. Jairas, and other people, but I know we'll get to know each other as time goes by. Feel free to interact with anyone, and in case of anything you want to communicate, I think Dominic, you can share the WhatsApp so that they will be able to get any feedback from you. I think Dominic will be our coordinator for this program until the end. He has shared his number, and I will also be taking you through the CV part. This being the first session, you have 2 remaining sessions, but I will also still be attending for the other part. So I wish you a blessed night. See you in the next session, which will be on Friday. Thank you so much. I don't have anything to add. See each other on Friday. In case of anything, you can remain behind. And if you have done everything, you have marked your attendance, you have joined the Google Classroom, you can leave at your own pleasure. Thank you so much.